All right, everybody, welcome back to No Cover TV podcast. This is your host, Big Al. That's right, we bring you the original local and national music scene, but today is a little different. This is the second part of the Mental Health Awareness Month from No Cover TV. Today is the day we talk about mental health awareness, and I hope you'll listen to the first part, because now we're on the second part, and our extra special guest is Mark Wares in the house. How you doing, brother?
Man, doing good, Big Al. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Mark's in Georgia. He just got done shooting his country music video on a lake. Which lake was it, Mark?
It's Lake Jackson down here in Monticello, Georgia. We had a good time. The community showed up, so hopefully get this out to you in a couple of weeks.
I hope so. Now, can you name the song the video was for?
It's called Can't Touch You. It's the first song that Music Row has picked to go to radio. September 15th, we're doing a big release there on Music Row in Nashville. And so we shot a little sizzle today to promote the song and hopefully get everybody to go stream it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let me give a little description about Mark before we get into it. Mark here's been at the business for a long time. He grew up in the church, started out in a gospel band, then went to a great band called Shiloh, then had some things go on that we'll talk about, and then moved on to the Mark Ware, what he's doing now. Unbelievable. He signed with Nashville, a 3-song deal. It was MC1 that signed you?
That's right, MC1 right there on Music Row.
Yeah, right on Music Row signed you, and then you got a call from the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, we're looking to go to Grand Ole Opry February 12th. I hear that it's a night with Mr. Morgan Wallen, so we're looking excited. We're looking and very excited to get to play the Grand Ole Opry. So
beautiful.
Couldn't be more happy with the response that we've had from our own folks and our fans, and y'all just keep streaming. It's making a dream come true for sure.
That's beautiful, Mark. That's beautiful. And you're on a 70-date tour.
Yes, sir. We just got back from down in southeast Georgia last weekend. We did a 3-night, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday down in Eatonton, Georgia, Midway, Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, and we got back home early Sunday morning, and so we're usually staying busy on Wednesday through Saturday night. So again, it's all because of you guys buying tickets and streaming our music that allows us to do what we like to do.
You're an amazing artist, Mark. You're going places. You know that, brother.
Thank you so much, Big Al.
All right, so let's get to our topic, mental health awareness, folks. That's right. We are talking about it. We're not embarrassed to talk about it because it needs to be talked about it. Like we said in the first part, there's a little bit of a stigma out there where people don't want to talk about it. They might be embarrassed to talk about it, but you don't have to be. Shit happens. I'm sorry to say it that way. But it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. There's people out there that you can talk to and that will listen to you. Now, Mark wasn't with us in the first half where we talked about anxiety, depression, and sexual harassment. Now, Mark, were you able to deal with any anxiety when you get on stage? How do you deal with that, getting on stage in front of all those thousands of people?
Usually the anxiety part we've got licked, but I tell you, it's just the feeling that you get when the crowd's singing back your songs and you're writing songs that come from the heart, and it just explains what you've been through, and it's just been amazing to me to find out how many folks across this world can really relate to the same thing that you related to as far as depression and falling to addiction and making your way out of addiction and just dealing with mental health just as it is, just dealing with it. But it's just been amazing to see that, folks are just dealing with the same issues that you are, and hopefully by something we're writing or something we're somebody out there that's buying tickets or even another artist. So we just kind of put our story out there and let them know that folks they're not alone.
That's right.
That even we deal with it.
Yeah, that's right. Us entertainers do deal with it. Now, you deal with it in a couple of different ways, from being the entertainer to their personal life, but you also have dealt with it because you're an EMT, a firefighter, and a fire chief, so you've dealt with it firsthand as a first responder.
Yes, sir. I did 33 years in the Georgia Fire Service, and I tell folks all the time that when folks call 911, they're not inviting you to a birthday party. They're inviting you to someone that's having the worst day of their life. Mm-hmm. And these men and women have got to do this minute after minute over and over again. And then somehow got to take their badge off and be daddy or husband or brother or son to their family the next day. So it's just hats off to all the men and women across this world who protect us and serve us every day.
That's something else. That's something else. Thank you, and thank you to all the first responders out there that deal with this, definitely. And to you, Timmy. Timmy Van, sitting at the table, is a mental health worker that deals with this also on a daily basis.
Awesome.
Yeah, so definitely. So we want to talk about a little bit of suicide that happens within the business, and unfortunately it seems to happen because of substance abuse, more than likely. We've lost great people from Joplin to Hendrix to Cobain to Taylor Hawkins to Prince. Nikki Sixx was really bad at one time. You know, John Bonham. A lot of great people we've lost because of stupidity. And I don't know if you've dealt with it much. I know we're going to talk about your story in a minute, but any of the gentlemen at the table have dealt with this?
Yeah. My very first band, our singer, we were 21 at the time, hung himself.
He hung himself.
Yeah. So I just turned 50 in July, and he would have been 50 in June.
Okay.
And so that was really rough because, you know, going to see him in the funeral home, you could see like the bruises on his neck. And that never left me. Like, I always think about that, you know, and about good or bad, the life I've lived since then, all the turmoil, good times, bad times, the roller coaster of life. I'm like, it's still worth it to keep on breathing and going.
Yeah.
You know, and because he missed a lot, and he would have absolutely loved social media, but that's what I think about. Like sometimes when I'm like, you know, on the web or whatever, I'm like, Ben would have loved this, but yeah, that was really rough, especially at such a young age. Not alone for him to do it, but also the effect that
left on you,
that were
friends
in that time, and we still. You know, I have a tattoo on my shoulder from that band, and it says, "Never want to let you go."
You're right. There it is. There
Never want to let you go.
Yeah.
Well, he wrote that song, "Never Want to Let You Go." Well, we still get together, like the guys from that band, just a little reunion, and we just have a little powwow and talk about that.
Nice, very nice.
And but yeah, that was definitely a devastating thing, and
that is devastating.
And it was, and he was like the happiest guy ever too.
You just sometimes don't know when a person has problems because they got the biggest smile on their face.
Yeah,
Robin Williams.
Rob Williams, for example. Exactly. Now, Michael, have you seen this? I mean, in the music business at all? People.
I haven't really seen it in the music business. You know, on a personal level, something I don't think I've ever told anybody is there was a point when I had a particularly bad week, and I wasn't in that place, but I seen that place.
Yeah, me too.
It was kind of a thing. I had a particularly bad week, and I went, you know, if I had 6 months of this, that would become an option all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Wow. And I don't think I've ever told him. I'm not sure my wife even knows that. So if she listens to this, she might go, ooh. But you know, and I've had certainly I've had relatives. I had a nephew that he just went into the garage and turned the car on. Young.
Really?
Young.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it does seem that the young people are having a real problem with this.
Well, before my big wreck, I was trying to drink myself to death. I was like, and I was contemplating suicide in a few different ways.
Okay.
And then I was just kind of basically hoping to just not wake up. I was like, pounding, going on, like I just wanted to do the final pass out, and it never happened, thankfully.
Right. Mark, you still with me? Mark? Mark, you still with me? Mark?
Maybe we lost him.
You think we lost Mark? Let's call him back. What did he do? Hang up on me? Mark. What? See, technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, we got love it. There you are, Mark. You back? Mark?
Cut me out a little bit.
He's in the Georgia area.
Out on a lake.
Out on a lake in a stong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Mark, you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're back. Sometimes you cut in and out there.
Awesome.
So-
Should be in a good service area right now.
Okay. So you got time to talk about your story a little bit?
I do.
All right, let me give heads up a little bit here. Mark, back when he was playing in a gospel band, went to a band called Shiloh, which was kicking butt out there. And around the age 35, Mark had some tragedy happen to him. Mark lost his 14-year-old daughter. She went in the hospital on Tuesday and passed away on a Friday. Mark went down the rabbit hole. He grabbed the bottle and had a hard time, didn't you, Mark?
Yes, sir. It was a terrible time, I'm sure. We got the call on Tuesday that she was sick. I didn't really know exactly what was going on, but she wound up having a lung infection, and we lost her that Friday. So, for some reason, I just associated her with music and just laid music down. And to be quite honest, I went to a very dark place for a little while and tried to cover up. Like most folks do, I try to cover it up without anything else I can say. I try to ease the pain, but somehow figured how I'm going to function in this new life without my 14-year-old. So it was a some time for sure.
That had to be very hard, very hard. But you had some awesome people in your corner to help bring you out of there, didn't you?
I did. I got a call from friends of mine I graduated high school with. That's he plays bass for Collective Soul, and his dad had passed and lived in the studio, and he offered to produce me if I'd come back and do some country and southern rock, and and basically I owe Will a lot. Man, he saved my life, got me back into doing music, and it's just been a 1,000 miles an hour since. We've been back in the studio for about 3 years now. Been full time for about 2.5 years, and I couldn't be more thankful, for my friends and my family, and most of all my fans that just helped snatch me out of that dark place and put me back where I need to be, and that's writing and sharing music with the world.
That's beautiful. So it was, for the guys from Collective Soul, and of course your friend Bo Bryce helped you out a lot, didn't he?
Yeah, Bo, I was fortunate enough to have Bo manage me for about 18 months. And Bo was with Mama, with my neighbor for years. And, and Bo dealt with a little bit of this too, as far as depression goes, as a lot of artists do. And so we could relate to a lot of things. But, I sure owe a lot to Mr. Bo Bryce. And, he's doing absolutely wonderful right now out of Orlando. And, Bo helped me a ton as well.
That's awesome. I think it's awesome that everybody at the table has been able to pull through what they've seen and gone through and be successful. It's incredible. It's amazing. And you put that bottle down permanently, haven't you?
I'm happy to say I haven't touched any liquor in a long time. Thank God for that.
That's right, brother. That's awesome. That's awesome. So now, being in the business, do you run across substance or alcohol abuse among the other artists and entertainers that you perform with?
Man, all the time, Al. I run into it, and sometimes I just wish I could shake them and just say, if they could really see what they're missing by trying to cover it up with drugs or alcohol, if they could really see what's happening in their real life right there in front of them. Sometimes I wish I could shake them, but unfortunately, it's just real prevalent in this business. It's a hard business. A lot of folks see this and limelight, and we're having fun, and they're 90-minute shows, but they don't really see the back end of what goes into those 90 minutes. Those shows halfway across the country, and missing their families, and somehow trying to be in a good mood when they're not in a good mood. But yeah, a lot of times I wish I could just shake them and to let them know that there's, you can really see the true sunshine. You go at this thing just sober and see what God has in store for you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the next day is always a beautiful day.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So, what do you guys think of all of this around the table? This substance abuse and people misusing drugs for the music. What do they think? Do you think everybody's doing it because they want to be cool, or because they need to get to a certain place in their mind?
Eventually, it starts out as the party, but then you end up becoming physically addicted, and then you feel like you have to do this, and it's terrible, and you're in this death hell. Well, basically, you're like in this. It's a good term. Actually, I never even thought about it. Like it's like you're stuck in this well,
Okay.
and you get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and nothing is ever getting better. And you keep thinking, you're like, well, I got to drink to feel better, but it's making me sick. But if I don't drink, I'm gonna feel like crap, and I'll be sick. So I got to drink to feel better. And it's like that vicious cycle you were talking about earlier. And it's around and round and round and round and round and round. And then next thing you know, you're missing out on all kinds of stuff, all kinds of happiness, all kinds of things.
Just like Mark was
you're
saying,
like thinking like, oh, I feel good. And it's like, no, you feel like crap.
You don't look good. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's a battle. And it's a trap. And that self-medicated stuff like that is just terrible, and I had to go through the ringer myself, and I'm glad I got to talk about it someday, whereas I know a lot of people didn't. But
Well, we're blessed to have Mark and you joining us today, because you have both been through a lot.
hey, I get to play churches now and share my story. Do you?
Yeah,
Mark does too. Mark's a great piano player, aren't you, Mark?
Wow, guitar.
Nice.
Yeah, rhythm guitar. So
I
that's a new thing I started doing.
Yeah.
So now, Mark, when you're up on that stage, you once in a while throw a gospel song out there for the folks?
You know, not only do I do that, I've got into the habit of this year. I don't think we've missed a show without opening it up in prayer. No matter where we've been, if we've been in front of 100 people or if we've been in front of 5,000 people, we've been opening up in prayer and you know, just giving thanks back, because there's no way I can keep doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for the help from Mount State.
That's right. That's right. It wasn't for the people. No, you got anything to say to the younger generation that's out there wanting to do what we're doing, but what can we shy away from these kids? What can we tell these kids up and coming to, to focus on and, stick to their guns and stay away from certain things and not listen to certain people? You got anything, suggestions, Mark?
You know, I would just say, try not to cover what's coming out of your heart and out of your head with the nasty stuff, with the drugs and the alcohol. Because I assure you that what's coming clean out of your heart and out of your head is what you're supposed to need to hear. And you just miss out on so much. So many times I've been under the influence when I've performed.
Yep.
And I can honestly say that the times, the last couple of years that I've played and not been under the influence has just done so much more for my soul than any night that I've ever been under the influence.
Nice. Now, Timmy, we haven't talked to you for a minute. Well, let's go to Timmy, the professional here.
Can I interject just a second?
Just a
because
second.
we were talking about like what you would say to the kids.
Yeah. Well, you got
Well, I interact with a lot of young people, and then they're heading off to college. Like there's some that are heading off to MSU, Michigan State
right.
here, and we get from my day job where they got two going to MSU, and another one going off to somewhere CMU, whatever.
Central.
And I'm like going, okay, well, you're doing a great job in your life. Don't wreck it, and then I'll share what I do at my church gigs is I share my testimony. I'm like going, look, I might tell you some of my glory days stuff, but I'll tell you why it's not good.
Yeah.
And I'll show you what had and then I send them with that going, I'm not trying to be like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do,
Just be
blah,
cautious.
blah, blah. I'm not dad, but I'm like, this is what it can lead to if you're not careful. Yeah. Have fun, but don't wreck.
Don't
you know what I mean?
everybody.
keep the end prize, graduate.
Right.
Right. Work on graduating. Don't there's going to be some good times in there, but don't get too crazy.
I think one of the big words is to be humble.
Yeah.
To be humble.
Yes.
So, Tim,
and appreciative, and
Yes.
like gratitude is a huge thing with kind of improving your own mental health. Like I've done gratitude exercises with people, and I always do anything I share with anybody else. I try it on myself first to see if I feel like it's effective, and that's something that's like really scientifically proven. Like, hey, if you're in a really crappy spot, like think of 3 things you're grateful for. Try to do that daily. If you can't do it daily, weekly, don't feel like you got to get better all at once. That usually leads to failure. Because then you become frustrated with yourself, and then you feed in, like I was talking about, self-sabotage. You kind of feed into your own negative narrative that I can't do this.
right.
Trust the process.
Yeah, exactly. And remember that it's a process, that fall in love with the process. Being uncomfortable makes you stronger when you make it through it. So like being uncomfortable isn't always a bad thing. It teaches you crisis management in the long run.
It does.
And I think when we were talking about why do people use, I think there's just a lot of different reasons why. One of my first gigs in social work was working at the methadone clinic, and that was really eye-opening for me because I thought I was really street smart, and I was like, wow, I'm really naive. But like some people, they grow up in a culture of use. I had folks that were their parents put them on drugs very early on to have somebody to use with. For me personally, I experimented with. I think I was kind of more like the Jim Morrison, the Doors. Like I experimented with hallucinogenics when I was in high school. I like that whole thought of mind expansion, but it kind of can become a dead end. And then you do things you wouldn't normally do. Because I've watched people. Not everybody can handle it, and
No.
I think just recognize when something's not serving you and when you're serving it.
Yeah.
Because I think things can kind of be in I call it orbit.
Right.
But if you start orbiting around something, that's just going to change everything, especially a substance, which really has, at the end of the day, no redeeming qualities other than it's taking away something you don't want to deal with, which I think is the biggest reason people use is. And I think we've already talked about this, like uncomfortable things that we're thinking that we don't know how to deal with, so we just want to push it off.
Just push it
by
aside.
feeling good
It's
in the
easier
moment,
to do
immediate
that than to deal with
gratification.
it. Exactly.
I used to tell people all the time, I'd be like, don't do anything I used to do, and you'll be okay.
This is not the 70s and 80s anymore, folks. We do things differently. All right, Mark? We've got to believe in ourselves. We have to believe in ourselves nowadays.
Great advice. I could have said the exact same thing for great advice coming from the table.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you, Mark, when you do your meet and greets and you have people come to the table and you're signing autographs and meeting people, do you pay attention to the people as far as where they might be mentally?
No, I pay close attention, and I want to hear everyone's story. And
That's great.
what we started doing about 2 years ago is we're the last persons to leave the meet and greet. We're the last persons to leave the show. So I want to hear everyone's story. I encourage them to reach out to us by email, and I try to respond to every single one of our fans' story, because whether they lost a child or they went through a bad divorce, or whether they're a struggling musician in town, or I just want to hear all the stories.
That's beautiful, Mark.
Nice.
Now, most musicians don't do that. Not at all. They don't take the time. They pack up and they're gone. And that's amazing, Mark.
We started. We don't want to leave until we have a chance to talk to everyone.
Thank you for doing that, Mark. Thank you.
That's great.
We need more of you out there. More of you out there, gentlemen. So we've talked and covered quite a lot through part 2, about the things that all of you have gone through. And I kind of shied away. I haven't talked about me at all. Oh, so none of you want to know what I've gone through.
We're going to talk about that shirt.
Yeah, let's talk about the shirt. I don't know how to dress myself very well.
Vacation?
I'm always in Hawaii, wearing Hawaiian shirts. Okay, so the bald guy with a Hawaiian shirts, that's me. So you gave it away to Mark. I was going to surprise Mark at one of his shows.
They'll know who to look for. It's like guy in the Hawaiian shirt. There's Al.
Out of 5,000 people, Mark's going to point at the bald guy. That's your Mark. Oh.
I'll be good to you.
I hope so. You're a big guy, man. Be nice. So, Big Al, yeah, I've seen quite a bit in the business. We talked about the substance abuse like that. I've been in a position where, unfortunately, I've had to pull needles out of people's arms, bring them back. I had a friend, Corey, hang himself. That was after the TV show back in 2005. This stuff doesn't settle right.
Yeah.
It doesn't settle right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Then myself, back in 2001, I went through a very, very bad situation. Very bad situation. I shouldn't be sitting here right now. So I do suffer from PTSD. Okay. I have bad insomnia. I average about an hour and a half a week of sleep. I don't sleep. Very hard, very hard. I've sought help for many 20 years, over 20 years. And I don't want to say there's no help, but their hands are up in the air. They don't know what to do as far as they don't want to give you medication. And I don't want to be on medication.
Right.
So I have meditation that I deal with at nighttime. So I get in a meditation state so I can get the body to relax, the eyes to relax. So I can kind of get that refreshness throughout the day. But then there's times throughout the day that I am dead. It's hard. It's hard to take
I can't even
sleep.
imagine an hour and a half of sleep a week.
I wear what's called the Oura Ring, which is the best detector of your overall health and stuff like that. It costs a pretty penny, but I wear it to check on my sleep and the average and everything like that. So I deal with the PTSD and my demons at nighttime, and then that's that. Okay, and that's where I live. Okay?
Wow.
So that's what Big Al deals with, but it's not about Big Al, it's about everybody else out there. All right? I look after all of you. Okay? So, yeah. So that's what you get out of me, and that's all you're going to get out of Big Al. So, Mark, I want to thank you for joining us today.
Well, you're very welcome, and it's nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, thanks for taking your time out of
Taking
your
the time.
schedule to be a part of
For
this.
sure.
Yeah, thanks.
And share your story, too. I'm a parent, too. I can't even imagine, Mark. So condolences, and I'm glad that was something that you were able to make it through.
And thank you so much. It's still a battle every single day.
I'm sure, yeah.
You know, folks ask me how I've done it, and I still can't answer that because I deal with it every single day when I wake up. And, you know, a little more of my story is, you know, when I lost Lincoln, my 14-year-old, I went through a terrible divorce. You know, I was just in a very dark place. And the woman that I'm married to now, when we first started dating, about 6 weeks into us dating, she lost her 18-year-old in a car crash on the interstate on I-75. And we buried her 18-year-old about 6 inches from my 14-year-old. And, you know, I say all the time that God put her in my life, you know, just to help me through what I was going through and to help her what she's going through. So we have
Good
two
insight.
teenagers
Yeah.
buried just apart there in McDonough, Georgia.
Incredible, Mark. You did a song, a tribute to your daughter, and that's called It's Gonna Take a Miracle, right?
That's right. And it was about 16,000 nominees in 34 different countries. And we were fortunate enough to win gold for Video of the Year. So if you get a chance to check it out, it's going to take a miracle. There's my entire story there as far as getting deep into the addiction of alcohol, going to jail, being arrested, to, you know, God touching me and me being able to lay down the liquor and getting a second chance at life, much less a second chance in music.
Yeah,
It's a second chance in life. So if you get a chance to check it out, it's called It's Gonna Take a Miracle.
Yeah, and I'm going to have the gentleman check it out before they leave because I'll be honest, Mark, I did a music show the other day where I played your music with the wife. She was at the table emceeing with me, and we started talking about the song. I got choked up. I couldn't finish. She had to continue. It's very touching and meaningful, and every time I see or hear it, this guy's bawling. I'm bawling. It means a lot. And that's a great tribute to your daughter. She deserved that.
Thank you so much.
You're a wonderful guy, Mark. Keep it up. Keep it up. All right, brother. We are going to stay in touch, and we're going to do more shows, all right?
Yes, sir. I can't wait to get up there to Michigan and bring the boys up there and let's just do what we can for those men and women in the military and men and women in the public service.
That's right.
You know, to help protect us, that's what it's all about. So anything that I can do to help anybody at this table, y'all please get my number from Big Al. Anything that I can do to help get the message out there that, hey, it can be. If you need somebody, call somebody.
That's right.
That's
That's right, yeah.
You know, that's the title of our new song. It's called Walk Alone. I was inspired to write after a real close friend of mine committed suicide on Christmas Day, this past Christmas. And but it's one of the songs that Music Row has picked for radio. So hopefully by spring of 24, we can get as many organizations like yourself to help push this message out. And it basically says if you need somebody, call somebody.
No, that's awesome.
Right on, yeah.
That's incredible, Mark. So before I let you go and we wrap up the show, could you do me something, Mark, a favor for me?
I can do anything you need me to do, Big Al.
I've never asked this of anybody, but before you leave, I'd like you to say a prayer.
Yes, sir, I can do that.
Thank you.
Lord, thank you for this day. Lord, thank you for these gentlemen that's trying to get this message across the world that we so desperately need. We ask you to be with each and every musician, or anybody that's struggling with mental health. We ask you that you touch them, and always just be with our kids, our county, and our country. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mark, for your time. Get some clothes on so I don't see you in my mind.
Hey, Big Al, be watching because this video is going to, this sizzle, we hope to have it out Tuesday or Wednesday. And if by chance you're in Nashville, September 15th, I'd love for you to be my special VIP guest here at the Troubadour Theater downtown as we release the song. And hopefully the world just streams it, and we get to keep continuing out there doing what we're doing. And so it's only because of you guys at radio, you guys at the table. It's only because of you that we get to do what we love to do.
That's awesome, Mark. If I can make it, I'll be there. Oh, yeah, I'll be on that stage. Oh, yeah. Can't get rid of Big Al that easy. All right, Mark, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to talk to you real soon. You take care, brother, all right?
Yeah, y'all take care. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah,
nice to meet you too,
Take care,
Mark.
man. Good luck.
God bless you.
You too.
Take care, brother. Peace. All right, everybody. That was Mark Ware, our special guest, with the rest of the special guests here.
What a great dude.
Yeah.
Heck of a story.
Yeah.
Darn tune.
Heck of a story.
Yeah,
I think
sounds
Mark has been through more than all four of us together.
Pull it up. For sure.
Wow. So we are going to check out Mark's video before you guys leave so you can see the video. It's very cool. He's doing tremendous things just like each of you are doing tremendous things in your careers. And I appreciate you coming to the table and being able to talk about this a little bit.
Anytime.
All we did is actually tip the iceberg. We haven't
Really, yeah.
dug into where we could dig into, honestly.
Yeah. Sure.
Now, we got a few more minutes here. I got some thoughts that I wanted to write down, that I did write down, is that the next day is a new day. Look at it that way, if people can. Okay. You're not alone.
Nope.
Not alone. Dwelling on things, not such a good thing.
No.
You don't need to dwell on stuff. Why? The past is the past. Let's go for the next day.
Yep, that happened. What's next?
That's right.
Move on,
That's
move on,
right.
move on. Yeah.
All right, definitely. And people out there, you can go ahead and push that button underneath the podcast and send in questions. If you want to ask any of Timmy or Michael or Mick or me, Mark a question, send in questions, or through the email, send in questions. We will answer them. We'll give them to Timmy. He's the professional here. I'm not a professional because you probably don't want to hear my way of doing things.
No, I think they should ask questions about you. I want to hear
No.
We want more. We want more.
We want
They're going to be
more.
like, can we get a picture of that shirt?
There you go.
Oh, Nick, I'm going to get you for that one. So I like my wine
I think
shirts.
if anybody does ask a question, if we all answer it, it kind of gives a comprehensive answer because we're all coming from similar but different places.
Yeah.
So, and I think that just would lend to more people being able to relate. Because I might say something a certain way that doesn't relate to somebody else, but Mick might say something and be like, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Or Mark, or you, or you,
absolutely.
for that matter. So,
I'm more where you probably explain it better. I'm more of a direct point person, so you might not accept it. Like
sometimes I over-explain things, but it's okay.
I came from the gutter approach. Like, here's all the slime, and I finally washed it off.
I love it.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because I come from the aspect of I never abused anything. I don't drink. I stopped smoking pot in '81. I'm just in it for the music. But I've seen from a sober aspect.
Exactly.
I've seen the people around me.
Yeah,
I've
you
had
probably thought I
people
was
in
crazy
bands
for a
with
long
me
time.
and watch them kind of self-destruct.
Self-destruct.
And you wanna go,
You want to slap them.
dude, wake up.
There's a few musicians I'd like to do that too.
Yeah, I
but you can't anymore. You can't babysit.
No,
Yeah, you can't babysit.
Yeah, and you can't get frustrated when you can't help somebody. One of the first things I was taught when I first started working with folks, the therapist I was working under said, "Never work harder than your client." And I thought that was a really good approach to kind of just relationships in general.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you're chasing somebody. That can make you depressed.
Yeah, right.
Know who your people are.
Why can't you get? Yeah.
I'll just kind of go back to that. Your vibe attracts your tribe, and you can change your vibe. And I think that's what we're not taught enough. That there's a famous psychology quote: "Anything learned can be unlearned." And when we go maybe have those dark moments, or like we grow up in an abusive setting, and we think everything's just that negativity is normal. It's just keep learning. That's what I always encourage people to do. And great Confucius quote: "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Don't try to look at anything like, I got to get all this done today. It's just going to be too daunting.
Oh yeah.
None of it happened overnight. It's not going to go away overnight, but you can switch paths at any time and just start feeling better. One day at a time.
That's like with the 12
day
steps.
to day, right? Yeah, exactly.
You know, like I did Celebrate Recovery, and I was a facilitator for that.
Sweet.
And I went through it with somebody. But that whole, like, carrying somebody, like, I'll walk with you, but I can't do it for you.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
and
that's
if they're starting to sink, you just go, you let go of the rope, let it sink then, because I've been here and you're not doing your part in this. You know, because it's bad, because you got people that are like engaging and they're like, yep, they're going through it, they're doing the thing, they're working the process, trusting the process.
Yeah.
But then there's the ones that are like, well, I'm here. How come this isn't working? I did this. How come I don't feel better today?
Right.
Well, because it's only today,
Yeah.
and there's still weeks and months ahead of you.
Right.
You know.
To use a musical metaphor, it's like muscle memory. You know, sometimes you guys have probably all done this from like, how do I play that song? And you're thinking about it, and then you can't remember some song you played 100 times, and then you quit thinking about it. All of a sudden, it comes back in. Well, same thing with any of these these cognitive techniques, or just learning how to master your mind. It's muscle memory. So just give yourself time and give yourself space to work on the tools and figure out what works best for you. So it's not a one size fits all.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah,
got a different backgrounds. We're just a bag of our experiences, and that's learn how you learn best, and you can learn anything. So,
do you notice? I want to add this with your clients or anybody for that matter. Do you see anybody sabotaging their own illness? So they come in, they want help, but yet they're sabotaging their illness.
Oh yeah, that's. It kind of like certain conditions are more prone to that than others. Mm-hmm. But certainly that's kind of why, like, we got to protect ourselves too. Like he was talking about, they call secondary traumatic stress. Okay. I mean, when you listen to 9 people in a row and you're hearing the worst day of their life or the second worst day of their life, or just you're taking that on too, and you got to be very mindful of that, because I remember them teaching that in college and then really having an incident where it kind of crept up on me over time. And I was kind of like, not being nice to be around with when I was at home, because I just didn't want to. It wasn't depression. It wasn't anxiety. I was just exhausted mentally, and you don't care anymore.
When somebody else,
you get exhausted.
When somebody else's problems are keeping you up at night, it's an issue.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes with what I was meaning with that.
Sure.
Walking through facilitating a program with somebody or counseling is like, okay, now your problem is becoming my problem. I'm only trying to help you.
Right. Boundaries.
I'm not exactly.
Set boundaries for yourself and keep them.
That's why psychiatrists and counselors are like, see you next week. Don't call me. Don't text me. I will see you next week, because that's all I can deal with.
I do make myself
I'm not your
available in an
friend.
emergency
I'm here.
situation, but like, yeah.
It's a
I'm like,
special
hey,
number
look,
for
if
that.
you're having an issue, contact me. But yeah, I mean, we literally start any session off with, you know, have you had any thoughts of harm, self-harm,
Right.
or do you have the means to do it, even if you haven't had the thoughts to do it? So
Oh, God, yeah.
it is
Right,
something
right,
that's
right.
important.
And
But
the
I always feel
psychotherapy
comfortable
stuff. Yeah.
when we're out of the woods. I think the thing as a therapist that concerns me the most is when I see somebody get into complete apathy, because then that's a really hard situation. Like I love the well analogy you use, because you can't see the light anymore from the well, and that is really hard to help somebody when they get that far. It's not impossible, but that's the thing I try to, that my brain will, how do I help this person? Like, what can I do? What's going to break it up a little bit? Sometimes we'll go completely off script and just I'll try to be funny, you know, or something, just to be like, look, there's more things to focus on.
Then also I just thought of with the well analogy too, if you're up there trying to pull up the well, but they just keep filling it gets harder and harder, and then you just go,
And you don't want to get pulled
go.
in.
You let go, you're
Yeah.
like, I can't anymore. Have fun.
Yeah, sink or swim.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've likened. I used to be a
Makes
lifeguard, and and like before you rescue a drowning person, they tell you get in like this ready position just in case they jump on you,
Yeah,
because a
bring
lot
you
of
down,
double
yeah.
drownings happen that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like that can be a similar thing, whether you're not just as a therapist, but whether you're helping a friend or anybody for that matter. If like they're starting to pull you down, like you got to pull away.
Gotta let it go.
And if somebody's trying to help you, let them help you. You know,
They're
don't.
not there to hurt you.
Yeah, they're there because they give a crap. So
Exactly. You're taking
and,
time out to give a crap.
appreciate any of the support that comes your way, because not everybody has that.
All right, John. Well, we're getting to the end here. I want each of you to speak your thoughts and wrap this show up. Michael, we're going to you. What do you got to say to everybody out there about the show? Any words of wisdom? Anything you got to say?
To me, the overall feeling, there's only one thing to be said, and that is, if you have issues, if you have doubts, talk to somebody. It's really that simple. You know, I hear a lot of good theories and stuff and that, but you gotta talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta go out. You gotta make the connection, and it will help you.
Yeah.
It will help you.
It does. It does. It really does.
Yeah, and boy, that's it. I mean, if anything, I won't say her name, but that counselor I did for 6 months, she did so much for me, and I went into it thinking this is stupid, and it wasn't stupid because
Yeah,
she
I'm
did
glad it helped.
so much
Yeah.
for me.
That's great, Michael.
So
Thank
get
you.
help. I'm trying to say it over and over again. 'Cause it's like, get help.
That's a great.
Get help.
Okay.
That's right. It's okay to get help. Yes.
It's okay.
Mick, you're next.
Oh, yeah, so ask for help. Don't try to manipulate your help if you're actually crying out for help. Getting help is not stupid.
No.
And like I said, don't do anything I used to do, and you'll be all right.
Hey, quit looking at my shirt. It's not that bad.
You know,
I'm gonna do a separate show about your.
Yeah, ruined my attire. What's in my closet?
we're gonna do the No Cover TV fashion show sometime.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I'll give you a makeover.
Okay, I need that. You're right. Oh,
I got you.
Yeah, I want to be involved in that for sure.
all right, Timmy, wrap us up here. What do you got?
Yeah, just I totally reiterate that point. Like, talk to somebody. And I got to recommend a movie, and because I do this with everybody that I work with. It's a kids movie, but Inside Out is like the best depiction of the human brain I think I've ever seen. And I want to throw that out there because, you know, when the girl in the movie keeps replaying these negative thoughts, like this pathway in your brain, they call them neural pathways, it'll keep getting stronger. The more you replay the negativity, the stronger it will get. If you stop thinking about that, if you forge new roads in your mind, that will eventually atrophy and go away. So it's really, change your focus. And if you need somebody to help you change it, you have a lot of resources. I'm sure you could hit anybody up at this table if you don't have somebody in your life, and we'd be more than happy to help you out.
We'd be more than happy. I'm here.
These are all great
Everybody's
guys.
Here.
And what's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same
Same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
And we just met
wrong,
today.
Mike.
That wasn't even scripted.
So we're gonna wrap it up with that. I love that. I
Yeah.
make a song of that guy. Wow, that was incredible. I was trying to throw the
I've
pick
heard
down with
that
that.
one before. Yeah.
That was great. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for doing this for me. The No Cover TV Mental Awareness Month. Thank you so much for coming to the table.
Oh, dude, thanks for doing this. This was
Absolutely.
great. Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I'm honored.
And
So.
I thank Mark Ware for him and his story, and he's doing great for himself. So more power to him and everything he's doing. So
Yeah,
and you
that's
guys
great.
in your music career, all right? Because you guys are off doing great stuff.
I'm a busker.
You're the busker.
Busker.
When's Sierra leaving?
October.
October.
Yeah,
She's leaving
Navy
for the
Reserve.
Navy.
Yeah.
Navy Reserve. All right. You've been teaching
we're
her some
wrapping
moves.
I'm letting her learn on her own.
Let her learn on her own. She's good.
She just doesn't listen to Dad at this point.
Not
She's
at this
21.
point. That's great. Well, we wish the Arrow best of luck, and thank you to all of you. All right. So out there at Podcast Land, that's right. You listen to No Cover TV talk about mental health awareness on the last episode 1 and 2. The next shows, of course, are about the musicians. We've got some great shows coming out. Check out, of course, the past shows. A lot of great interviews and music, and we've got a lot of great upcoming shows. And what's funny is we're doing shows from all around the world, and it's really crazy talking to the different dialect and not trying to offend them with my dialect, I guess. So, I've got a band in Italy right now that wants to come on the show, but they said, we don't speak English. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to do this show out. So
Okay,
I might have to
speak Italian.
Right, so I might have to get the Italian thing out and type in their words as they're saying or hold it up to the speaker. Maybe that'll work. I don't know.
Hold on, Google Translate's going a little slow.
Yeah, a little slow. We'll get through this. So I want to thank everybody on Podcast Land. Again, if you do have problems, if you're thinking of bad stuff, you can't get the crap out of your head, there are people to talk to, whether your friends or your family or even your pet, your dog. I got 2 of them. I talk to them all the time. They're sick of listening to me, believe me, especially at nighttime when I wake them up. Oh, yeah. Nobody wants to hear me at nighttime for some reason. So anyway, thank you, everybody that listened. Take care of each and every one of you. If you see somebody out there with their head down or they're saying the same thing over and over, why don't you talk to them? Be a friend. It's all right, you know? Why not?
Absolutely.
It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's okay.
Really okay. Just
And on that certain subject we talk about as far as the sexual harassment, if you deal with that and you're in a, say, an establishment or something, get with your bartender, get with the owner, get with your waitress. Don't let it play out. Don't let it get too far. If it gets to a point, use your foot, kick the guy in the nuts. I'm sorry I said it that way, but it's just, you know, I don't feel sorry for you predators. Your ass is mine if I find you and I catch you. Okay, and that's that. And then I'll turn you over to my friends at the police department, and we'll see what they do to you. All right? So, everybody have a great day. It was a fun show. We had a great time.
Sweet, yeah.
Everybody take care of themselves, and I will see you soon, and I will keep promoting your music, and stay safe. All right?
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. We're out of here. Say we're out of here.
Okay, we're out of here.
We're
Bye.
outta here.
Okay, bye.
Peace.